All right, this is Alan again from Hireology. Thanks again for joining today's webinar. It looks like we still have a couple of people still logging in, so welcome if you just joined us. We have a lot of content to get through today in 30 minutes of your time, so I want to make sure we have enough time to get through everything. So we're going to just go ahead and get started. And so my name is Alan. I'm our senior product marketing manager here at Hireology. I'm joined with my colleague, Ellie Fredlund, who's our product manager. And we are so excited to be here today to walk you through something that has been in the works at Hireology for over a year now. Ellie was able to show me what the app looked like kind of in its inception in January. And over the past 10 months, the team has been incredibly hard, and the people on this call are actually getting the very first public look at the Hireology mobile app. So I'm incredibly excited to build up the anticipation a little bit before I give it over to her for a live demo. And so before we dive in with the demo, I kind of wanted to cover a little bit of background on our methodology and the thought process that we went through in terms of building an app. And so when we have our really powerful platform, we kind of thought if there would be any value added to having a mobile app. And so we decided that there would be a lot of value in giving our customers the ability to take Hireology anywhere so that they can manage their hiring process. And especially with everything related to COVID-19, the customer feedback we've heard is that everybody's lives and roles have changed. People are not always at their desk. People might be at home, working on the floor, or just not being able to be attentive to their Hireology process, which is tied to their work computer. So we knew that there was a huge opportunity for our customers always being on the move, that we really needed to keep up with them. And we thought that mobile would be a really great and powerful way of doing that. One of the benefits that we thought of is just helping our customers make those hiring decisions even faster to make it easier to connect with those quality applicants. And the way we want to do that is just bringing those best applicant tools that all of our customers know from our core platform, taking them from that desktop experience and putting it into their phone in a really easy and intuitive way. Ultimately, our goal was to make it simple to use our mobile app along with the desktop platform. So if you are a great user at our Hireology app on desktop, you're going to love what the mobile app looks like. And we're really excited to showcase what that is. But really, before we dive into the demo, the team has given a lot of thought in terms of what we want the app to do. Did we want to create everything that we have in our desktop app in mobile? And the answer that we came up with was it doesn't really make sense for everything. And so, what we really wanted to focus on to give the best experience for our users was concentrating on what we consider to be one of the most important steps in the hiring process. And that's that first step in connecting with applicants. We want to make sure that our customers are making such a great first impression. So, what Ellie's about to walk you through are three key steps to best connect with applicants. And that starts with reviewing them. So, with the mobile app, we're going to give you access to the full applicant application, as well as any supporting documents like the resume and the pre-screen survey, any other manager comments or other roles that the applicant applied to make that decision easier to advance them or not, which takes them to our next step. So we want to make it really simple for you to review the applicant and then make the decision on if you want to take this individual to the candidate stage so that you can kick off your hiring process. And there's a couple of tools that we're about to walk through that show you how to do that. But the app is going to make it incredibly simple for you to either advance an applicant, decide if somebody is maybe not a fit for right now, so you can go ahead and decline them. Or if you're on the fence, you can actually skip that process for now, think about it a little bit, and then either pick up the process from the mobile app or the desktop experience later. And for either of those situations where you want to advance or decline them, we're going to make it really simple for you to follow up with that applicant to still give them a really delightful experience. And then finally, there's going to be a whole suite of connection tools built into the mobile app. Whether you want to give them a telephone call, send an email, or text message, Hireology is going to make it incredibly simple to do that right from the app. So think about these three things: reviewing new applicants, advancing those great candidates through the process, and then connecting with applicants in case you need clarification or want to let them know that they're moving forward. Those are the three things that we're going to really focus on to make the applicant experience really great for all of our hiring managers and your applicants. And really, that's everything that I kind of wanted to cover going ahead of the demo. So, Ellie, if you are ready and excited, I'm going to hand it off to you to show all of our customers what this actually looks like.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Alan, and thank you all for joining today. As Alan mentioned, we've been working hard on this to make sure it was something that would be useful for all of you, and so we're excited to share it with you today. So as you log into our mobile app, you'll see our what we refer to as our home screen, and this presents you the applicants that are waiting for review. You'll see at the top of the screen that it has a total of all of my applicants to review. And then on the bottom of the screen here, I can also review by job. So if there's a role that's really critical for me to fill for my organization, I can jump right in and prioritize the review of those applicants first. Or since today I only have 3 applicants to review, I can go ahead and get started with the process of reviewing all of them. So that's what we're going to do. So as I log into the applicant screen, at the top of the screen, I can see the general applicant information, the job that they applied for, how they applied. So in this case, Joy applied via our career site. Below that, I have my communication buttons. So I can reach out via call, email, or SMS. And in this case, I can also see that there's been an email previously sent for Joy, and I can view that email history. So as I continue down the screen, the next thing I want to look at is Joy's documents. And this is where both the resume as well as the application are going to be for the applicant. And one of the critical features with mobile that we wanted to make sure was available is an easy way to review the resume. And so because this is a native mobile app, you can see it's easy for me to zoom in on a specific column and review that information. Once I finish reviewing the resume, I can also hop over and review the application. In this case, we didn't have any custom questions, so it's pretty simple. I can just see that this applicant was referred by an employee. As I continue down, I can see the pre-screen survey results here. And I can both see the score, and then if I click on it, I can see the actual answers to all the questions. And in this case, our applicant has answered them all in the way that we would expect. And so in this case, after reviewing, I'm going to go ahead and make the decision to advance this applicant to candidate. So I'm going to hit the advance button. At this point, I have the opportunity to confirm my decision. So if I accidentally hit that button, I can back out and make a different choice, but in this case, we intended to. From this screen, we can see that we are going to go ahead and send the interview inquiry about availability email. If I want, I can go ahead and come in and review that email. Just make sure that there isn't anything that I want to edit. If I want to change something regarding availability or the length of the interview, anything like that, that can be done here. So I can save any changes that I've made. And then I'm going to go ahead and advance this applicant. So I'll get a confirmation that that was completed, and then the next applicant appears. So at that point now, the interview email has been sent to Joy. I don't have to go back, and I can continue on with my review of applicants. The next applicant we're going to look at is Drake here. One thing that's available for Drake that wasn't on our last applicant was the other jobs. So Joy had not applied to any other jobs at our organization, but Drake has. So I can go ahead, click on that and see both what jobs they've applied for and when. So in this case, it looks like Drake applied for basically all of the openings that we had. Again, the email is available there, as well as the pre-screen survey results. And in this case, because there were custom application questions, I can see that as well. So just in reviewing this, I can see that Drake applied to all of our positions. The pre-screen survey has several questions that weren't answered the way that I would expect. And they didn't take time to answer my custom questions. So just based on the amount of effort that they put into this application, I'm going to go ahead and decline this applicant. So like advance, I'm going to go ahead and just hit the decline button here. And similarly, I can see what email is going to be sent, in this case, the applicant rejection email. I can edit it, But one of the features that's available for decline and not advance is the ability to change the date that the email is sent. So when we're advancing the applicant, we want to get the interview scheduled as soon as possible. And so that email is automatically sent immediately. Because we know with the mobile app, we may be reviewing applicants very quickly. That's our hope, right? That it's easy enough that you're able to do it in near real time. You may not want to send a rejection email as soon as that happens. So if I want to change this, I can go ahead and move it out up to 30 days out. And then save that. So you'll see now, oops, and actually I saw that that's a Saturday, so I'm going to go ahead and change it. Sorry. To November 2nd. There we go. So now they'll get on Monday, whatever time frame I think is appropriate for them to have seen that we reviewed their application in full. I can also, just like with the advance, I can edit this email. So if there's anything I want to give as far as additional details, or if we want to say, you know, we've just filled this job, but please apply again soon, all of those changes could be made here. One of the other things is if for some reason you don't want this email to go out, you can just move the slider here, and that's the same for advance as well. We do recommend that you send it, and then if I change my mind and do want to go ahead and send it, I can do that. So from here then, we are going to go ahead and decline Drake. And again, I'll get the confirmation to let me know that that was successful. Our last applicant here, it looks like they've submitted documents, so we'll take a look at the resume. That's available, but they haven't completed the pre-screen survey for some reason. So I'm going to go ahead and look and see that, oh, I actually already sent them the SMS message saying, can you complete this pre-screen survey? So I'm going to go ahead and just leave a comment here for myself that says that I'm waiting for pre-screen survey. So next time when I come in to review, oh, and I did that, but we're going to go ahead and submit it again. Next time I come in to review, or if anyone else on my team comes in to review, they can see that this is why we've skipped this applicant and haven't completed the review. Again, I can also check for the email at the same time, or if I wanted to reach out and call Alec, I thought that they were just a perfect fit. From this screen, I can hit the call button, and again, the phone will automatically pop up their number to make that call. But based on what we have today, I really want to wait for that pre-screen survey to be completed. So I'm going to skip this applicant for now. So now we've advanced, declined, and skipped in all of our applicants. So it lets me know that I've gone through my entire list, and I can go ahead and close this. And from there, I'll return back to the home screen. So you can see here that the skipped applicant that I had is still waiting. If I want, I can go back and review Alec now, or I can just go back to my home screen. So as you can see, it's very simple to quickly move through and make decisions on all of your applicants in order to keep them moving forward in the hiring process. So with that, Alan, I am going to go ahead and turn it back to you.
Fantastic. Ellie, that was such a great walkthrough. I'm going to just return to presentation mode. And hopefully everybody was incredibly excited to see just what the Hireology experience looks like on mobile to start making that connection with applicants as they start coming into your open roles. And so the question that you probably have on the top of your minds is, when can I get my hands on this? So I'm really excited to say that this is actually available now in both the Google Play Store if you're on an Android phone, or in the Apple App Store if you're on an iPhone. So that is available right now. All you have to do is search for Hireology on your respective store, and we should hopefully come right up for you. And this is going to be a free edition for all Hireology users. So if you have an account with Hireology that you're using today, this would be a really great app for you to download and start using. And we're so happy and excited to get the app in everybody's hands as soon as possible. So how this works is you would just go ahead and download it on your phone like any other app. And from there, you just log in to the app using your Hireology username and password. The one other plug I'll have is if you enjoy the app, we would love for you to leave us a rating and review. Like many of our customers, we are a small business and we really depend on a lot of word of mouth. So if you're really happy with the app and want to share that, we would really appreciate a quick review. And with that said, the one thing we do want to cover, and I see a couple of questions already coming in, which is really exciting for me. If you want to use that Q&A icon in your Zoom toolbar, it'll just pop up, and we will get any sort of questions that you have asked, and we'll get through as many as we can in the next 10 or so minutes here. But we will be sending out the presentation after. I think this will go out later this week. And then any questions that we don't have a chance to answer in case we can't run through them all, we will make sure are included in that email because we want to make sure everyone is as excited as we are for the experience. So with that, I think I will go ahead and turn it over to our Q&A. And Hannah, my Q&A modal is actually not coming up right now. So I'm wondering if you might help us by asking us a couple of questions and then Ellie and I can take it from there.
Of course. Our first question comes from Jay. Other than when declining or advancing candidates, is there a way to use our email and SMS templates?
Thanks, Jay. So currently there is not, but that is actually one of our next features we expect to be releasing for you. So we're working on that right now. So hopefully in the near future, you'll be attending another webinar about that. But currently the app is really focused just on the applicant review part of your process. And then we will continue to expand it based both on usage and also customer requests. So thank you.
Thanks, Ellie. The next question comes from Devin. Can you add a disposition code to candidates who are rejected?
Absolutely. If that is functionality that your organization uses, either if it's optional or if it's required, the app will react accordingly. So in the case that I was looking at, that account didn't happen to use disposition codes. But if your organization does, they will be applied. And if they're required, they'll be required to enter. Or if they're optional, it'll be optional in the mobile app as well.
Thanks, Ellie. We have two questions that are pretty similar, so I'll just read one. When you make a call, does it show the applicant your personal number?
It does for calling. So because you're using your actual phone, it is going to show your personal phone number for that. But when you're emailing or sending an SMS message from the app, that will use the same phone numbers, not your personal phone number, or it will use your work email if you're emailing or sending a text message. It's only for the call that because it's using your phone's native phone functionality, which is hard to believe that any of us still actually use it for our phone some days, but it will actually use your phone number in that case.
Great, thank you. We have a question from Emily. How does the app work when we hire for multiple locations?
Awesome. Thank you, Emily. So as long as you're on the hiring team for that job, for that role, you'll be able to see those applicants. So any of the jobs that you're on the hiring team for will appear in your app. If you're not part of the hiring team, those applicants won't be there. And you would still be able to review them the way you do today in the in the web app.
Great, thanks. Teresa asks, will other features like searching for candidates be added to the app in the future?
Yes, thank you, Teresa. So as I mentioned a little bit as far as being able to use templates, we are looking at what features are most helpful for the hiring process. So one of the things that definitely came up in our research so far has been the ability to communicate with the applicant from your mobile device. But in order to do that, we certainly understand that being able to search and look for candidates is critical to that overall hiring process. And so we're looking at how we can incorporate that as a rapid follow as well. So those are kind of the things that are known about the mobile app. And then from there, we're continuing to make sure we are doing research to understand what parts of your hiring process will most benefit from a mobile experience.
Great, thanks, Ellie. Another one came in from Kim. Are we able to request reference checks and background checks via the mobile app?
So that, Kim, is a great question. We are not currently targeting that yet for our mobile app. But if that is something that we continue to have feedback on and see as our research as one of the areas that's important and critical from a timeliness perspective or from a mobile access perspective, that's something that we can definitely look at. And I will be sure to add it as a request based on your feedback today.
Great, thanks, Ellie. Another question from a couple of people. Will the scheduled reject letter option be available for the desktop as well?
So currently it is not available on desktop. So the scheduled rejection would be available on mobile only. Those rejection emails, when they are sent, will appear on desktop. But in order to take care of that or take advantage of that functionality right away, you would need to use the mobile app. It is on our list to incorporate into the web app in the near future, though.
Great, thanks. Another question, can you only view jobs that have you listed as the hiring manager?
Great question. So you don't actually have to be the hiring manager. You just have to be a member of the hiring team. And so that's something that can be set up at any time for the job. So if currently you don't have your job set up that way, additional people can be added to the hiring team after the fact, and it'll still be available within the mobile app. And if there's any questions on how to do that, please contact us and actually, I think that's probably at our knowledge base, but we'd be happy to help with that process as well.
Great. I'm just looking through, there's a few duplicates, so just trying to weed those out, but can you customize and personalize new email templates?
So with this current one, you can only do it, applicant by applicant. You can edit it. As we look to include additional communication, as I mentioned, as far as email and SMS, at that point, we'll be looking to be able to pull in your custom templates that you have set up for your organization. So in the immediate, you will not. So in the immediate, you'd have to edit that based on each applicant. But in the future, that is definitely something that we are planning to add.
Great, thanks. Another question from Brian. I have candidates who I've reviewed on the desktop site, but kept in applicant section rather than rejecting or moving them to candidate. And he sees those candidates are still listed on the app as needing review. Is there a way to change this so that it will only show him the new applicants?
So currently the app is going to continue to show the applicants until they are either advanced or declined. So until you move them, and that's so that they continue to be available. I don't think that we will move to making them unavailable in the app, but being able to filter that so that you can weed those out is something that we've added to our backlog to look at. So by default, we don't want to remove them just because, for visibility, some people certainly may want to have them available, but being able to sort or filter your applicants so that those that you've already reviewed don't show up first is on our backlog.
Great. Next question comes from Tyler. When I click on an applicant to advance, it picked the in-person interview email automatically. How do we change that so it picks the phone screen email first?
So that will be coming with our inbox functionality. So when we're able to introduce that, as well as being able to email at other steps in your process, at that point, you'll be able to use additional custom templates.
Great. Another question coming through. I know you mentioned that it will be, if you are using the calling feature from the app, it will show your personal number. But we did get a question about, can you use a Google Voice number instead of a personal cell phone number?
That is a fantastic question. And that is actually one that I will have to look into and get back to everyone on. I don't have the answer to that. So
no worries. Thanks, Ellie. Another question coming in from Diane. Will icons show numbers of applicants like email does, or does the app need to be open?
So we, right now, You need to open the app, but that is something that will be added when we add our notifications with Inbox. And so we may actually be reaching out to some of you to best understand how those notifications can help in your workflow, because we want to make sure that you have visibility to your hiring process, but we also understand that you're using a personal device. And so we don't want that to be intrusive, or that some of you may be using a personal device. So yes, you'll be able to certainly see an icon like email, and then from there, the notifications will be looking for customer feedback to understand how we can continue to evolve them. So right now you need to open the app, and then with the inbox functionality with notifications, you'll be able to certainly see the number and possibly more depending on the feedback that we get from all of you.
Great. I know we're coming up to time, so we'll try to answer a few more. And then, like Alan mentioned, if we can't get through all of them, we will be compiling all of these wonderful questions and providing them in a post-webinar email follow-up. But just jumping to the next one, Bobby says we have about 6 job posts, but the mobile app only shows applicants from 2 of those job posts. Is there a limit on how many job posts can show in the mobile app?
There is not. And so there are some qualifications for applicants to appear. So applicants need to have applied within the last 21 days. Again, you need to be on the hiring team and a couple of other things, but that sounds like something that we want to look into. So we can follow up on that one after the call. So Hannah, maybe if you can help me get that information so that we can follow up appropriately, that would be great.
Of course. Another question comes from Terry. I don't see any way to toggle to the other store. How would we go about doing that?
So at this point, you have to be on the hiring team, and then it will just be sorted by job. So as long as you're on the hiring team for the roles at both organizations, you should be seeing them both at the bottom of the screen. And then underneath the job title, it should show the location. So if that is not the case, again, that's something that we would want to just double check and make sure the setup of that you're included on the hiring team and that type of information, so we can validate and understand what's going on in your particular circumstance.
Great, thanks, Ellie. Let's see. I do not see jobs, but only see candidates that have applied. Is there a way that this can be visible?
So that is not, so right now there has to be an applicant in order for that job to be shown. And as far as understanding what you need to see from a job perspective, that's certainly something that we understand is a need, but we haven't refined exactly what that will look like. So at this point, that is not planned. It's a known need, but we don't have a planned release for when that would be included.
Great. And we'll round it out with one final question. Was refresh moved from the desktop version, and can you refresh in the app?
I will definitely check back with my colleagues on the web piece. I don't want to speak for my other product manager colleagues here at Hireology, but we do not have refresh functionality within the mobile app. And then I can definitely get back to you on the web.
Great, thanks, Ellie. Alan, I will turn it over to you. And like I mentioned, we didn't get through all of our questions, but we do want to be cognizant of your time. And so please be on the lookout for an email coming from our team after the conclusion of the webinar.
Great. And Hannah, thank you so much for assisting in the Q&A section of the webinar. I think that was a really great, lively discussion, and it makes me really excited because there is so much interest. So this has been the first time that we have given a public preview of what our Hireology app looks like. So again, thank you for your time today. I know we ran through a lot. We hope that you're just as excited as we are to start using the app. And I think that this is really going to be a great first start in terms of helping our customers make that first connection with applicants. So Ellie, this was such a great run through. Thank you for doing that, as well as fielding our questions. And we will be sharing a video link of this presentation. So feel free to pass it on to other colleagues who may not have been able to attend. And otherwise, we just look forward to you finding our app in the respective app store based on your device and giving us feedback on how it's working out for you. So we can't wait to see how you start using the app. And thanks again for your time today, everyone.